So we're saying sex cult a lot, and I think we should stop saying that. I've never wanted to have sex with a pot pie, but like, I'd have sex with that pot pie.
We're all weak to stepping on nails.
Let me preface this by saying I wrote a script.
Daytona Beach is like 2 mild inconveniences from being a post-apocalyptic wasteland anyway.
So many of my tabs say semen.
Are you guys ready for this weird, horny adventure that we're all about to go on?
You can't handcuff me for skanking.
This motherfucker gaslights you.
Diet Coke and Sorrow will be chapter 4.
And against all odds, Kyle, we became those swirly weirdos.
This whole podcast is a very negative mouthfeel.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and, I'm paraphrasing Andrew here, how My Hero Academia is just invincible for weebs.
Yep. Confirmed.
I'm not seeing either of those things. They're both
to get
lost
that
on
joke,
me.
I would need to watch My Hero Academia.
I was live tweeting in our Discord, and I turned on Invincible episode 1. Keep in mind, I watched the entire series in one day.
Just bombed through it in one day,
Just bombed through it. I did not move. And I texted these guys and I was like, oh, so this is just like My Hero Academia. And then the end of episode 1 happened. And I said, I would like to rescind my previous statement, please.
Yeah, Invincible's a very good show. And now everyone but
good.
Matt here has watched it. So
It's high on the list. It's like really high on the list, but I just haven't gotten there
It's
yet.
so good.
I get it. I've been there where like the idea of starting something new is just
Pay us
too much.
$50 to do a flavor text on
Do it.
Invincible.
Do
That'd
it
be
now.
pretty cool of
3,
you.
2, 1. Do it
Do
now.
it.
Do it. Do it. So we're all adults here, right? Collectively in this call.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree.
By technicality, yeah.
This might be the first time that you have referred to me as an adult on this podcast, and I'm not going to argue with you.
So we'll get back to that. So we all know that if there were a chosen one, behind that chosen one stands an unchosen many. And we all can realistically admit to ourselves that not everyone gets to be that chosen one.
Unchosen Many is my favorite Dark Souls boss.
It's my favorite mid-2000s pop punk band.
Same
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after all, someone had to free the Dragonborn from execution, just like the Pokemon champion needed to grind through some bug catchers to train for their first gym badge, just like someone has to drive the bus in Fortnite, just like any other number of supporting characters to the hero's journey that is every single video game and comic book you've ever played or
Can
read.
you explain driving the bus in Fortnite, please?
I got this one. So when you play Fortnite and you start at the beginning, like most battle royales, you ride a bus that drops you out, like you
A
jump
flying
out of.
bus,
So
yeah.
if it's
Thank
Call
you.
of Duty, all 150 of you or 200 of you are in one big cargo plane until you get to the update. Now everyone is in a different Apache helicopter, but it's also the same Apache helicopter.
Oh,
Huh.
thank you, Todd.
Does that do anything for you? Is that good?
Does it play heavy metal like the
You
normal
want it
Apache
to.
helicopters too?
You want to hear Fortunate Son in the back of your head while you're riding.
The only song that can legally be played in an Apache helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's always a supporting cast of characters behind the hero's journey. And saving the day seems like a lot of work. And these niche interest competition-based reality shows aren't going to watch themselves. So since we're all resigned to a life of complacent comfort, rather than indulging in power fantasies of beating the bad guy and saving the day, we can instead imagine what fantastical world we would like to put in our 40 hours, come home to a cozy dwelling of our liking, and leave the fate of the world to someone else with more to prove. So gang, what video game world would you want to be an NPC in? And why? Do I need to explain what an NPC is, or are we all
Please do.
on board a non-player character? Again, the shop owners, the fishing merchants, the dusty old beggar who wants your last potion outside of the first town. Which one of those would you be, and why?
This podcast would have been so super relevant if that Ryan Reynolds Free Guy movie had come out in the last year.
Yeah.
Womp.
Yeah.
This
Was that any good?
Well, this was
Never came out.
an episode topic that Kyle and I had brainstormed a year and a half ago.
Back when that movie was still slated for release.
I just looked. Apparently, it's coming out mid-August of this year. I will believe it when I see it.
Put that in the Morbius.
It's a
bucket.
Morbius double feature.
I have more faith in a Ryan Reynolds movie than I do in a Jared Leto Morbius movie, but not much.
Same. So Todd, what video game world do you want to be an NPC in, and why?
Kyle, there are a lot of good answers, and you're going to hear two bad ones, so I want to give you a good answer. If I, Todd, the adult, who has a lot of responsibilities and hates all of them, get a choice to exist in kind of the background of a video game world, I'm going to choose one of marvelous bright colors, loud noises, and certainly eccentric characters. Thusly, it just makes perfect sense that I, Todd, on this podcast, am going to choose the world of Super Mario RPG. Now, before anyone groans, because I'm bringing Super Mario RPG to a discussion again.
Said before you groan, Andrew.
Yeah.
He's got something
sorry.
a point.
I'm not going to bring up Malo today, so you're lucky, because I specifically today am going to tell you that as an NPC, I would be living and working probably in Booster's Tower, because working with someone with crazy eyes, Brillo pad beard hairs, and who brings the combined energy of Charlie Day and Jason Mantzoukas seems like the person that I want to be in the downline of when it comes to the reporting structure. So for those not familiar, just real quickly, because I'm going to talk more about him later, Booster is this character that shows up in the middle of the game who kidnaps Princess Peach and has no reason for existence, but is just pure chaos.
He's Dollar Store Wario.
He is Dollar Store Wario. He is definitely Dollar Store Wario.
Okay. And you want to live in Dollar Store Wario's tower?
Well, I'm going to live and work there.
Okay.
It's yeah. I assume it's going to be like a WeWork situation, but with more structure and purpose.
and less of a culty pyramid scheme.
There's no clapping and cheers each morning.
Oh, okay.
It's more fun antics.
More fun antics, less chanting and awkward team building exercises.
Oh yeah, there will probably not be zero team building exercises, but less team building exercises.
Todd, what do you think Booster's two truths and a lie are?
Boy, that he's killed a man. That he knowingly absorbed his twin in the womb.
Okay.
And that he practices regular hygiene. Which one of those is the lie?
Truth, lie.
I think it's a classic TTF situation there. True and false.
True and false. Okay. Well, we'll let you get more into what you'll be doing in Booster's Tower later on, Todd. Matt, where would you like to be an NPC?
Yeah, Kyle. So I thought a lot about this answer, and I was looking through my stack of games trying to figure out what would be a cool place for me to live. Where could I have some awesome NPC existence? Where could I get some great job that I really love? Where could I, experience a wild, mystical world different than my own? And then I realized, Kyle, that my life sucks and I just wanted to escape it for a little while. So I'm going to go to probably the most idyllic, picturesque land in Breath of the Wild. And I'm going to go live in Hateno Village in Breath of the Wild. And it is for pretty much no reason other than that I have never played a video game that has made me as happy to just exist in the world as Breath of the Wild did, which is something that I know you, Kyle, and you, Andrew, understand, and Todd and his bad answer have no idea about because he still hasn't played Breath of the Wild.
I've still not played Breath of the Wild.
Do you guys know how I know Matt's mental state is not great? Because his idea of an idyllic world is a post-apocalyptic nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's in the north middle of the map, and Hateno Village is southeast, so it's pretty far outside of that issue. You know, well, it's been 100 years. Who cares, man? Who cares? Listen, we're pretty much living in a post-apocalyptic world anyway. Why not live in a post-apocalyptic Hateno village where everybody is super happy and you can take plants to the lady halfway up the street and get your clothes to change colors, and you can run up the hill and light torches on your way to the big science castle. What else could you possibly want, Kyle? Hateno village.
I love that checklist of things for the place you wanted to move to. Can get your clothes changed colors by delivering plants. Everyone's happy, and I forget the last one. But
light the torches on the way to the science castle.
Light the torches. Okay, I like it, Matt. It's very Hateno Village is very peaceful and idyllic, and very opposite of this grinding capitalistic world we live in. So good.
It also has an amazing theme song, and if I just get to exist in the Hateno theme song from Breath of the Wild for the rest of my life, I can get down with that.
Okay. Andrew, where are you living?
Sure, yeah. So Kyle, I'm going to be taking the first boat out to Snacktooth Island, which you may or may not recognize as both the native homeland and primary setting of Bugsnax, which I have talked about on this podcast before.
You have talked about it. Tell us about Snacktooth Island, please.
Well, really quick, let me introduce it. So Bugsnax, if you're not familiar, is came out late last year. It is developer Young Horse's existential coming of age tale about a bunch of Muppets catching strawberries with googly eyes. in Bugsnax, you play as an unnamed journalist journeying to the island to investigate and to hopefully break an exclusive story about this expedition being led by this mysterious Elizabeth Megafig, who's like the mysterious character that you're searching for. Elizabeth and her other grumpus companions, which they're all Muppets basically. They all discover these sentient creatures who are half bug, half food, and 100% edible and delicious. And just like any good silent protagonist, TM, you are there simply to be a pair of eyes from which to view the other characters. So there are a total of 13 grumpuses that you meet on Snacktooth Isle. And you learn that each of them went for a different reason, whether it be like a fresh start, to find success, maybe just an escape. And each one of them come to view Bugsnax as the the answer that they've been looking for in their life. We'll get more on that later. Snacktooth Island as a world is just a perfectly pleasant vacation destination. I mean, it has white sand beaches, a lush tropical forest. It's got mountainside trails. It even has a lava desert and a snow world for your later game to play. Because you got to have a lava desert, you got to have a snow world. Those are just the boxes we all check.
And all the delicious anthropomorphic fruit you can eat.
Exactly. And to that point, Kyle, the only indigenous creatures to this entire island are the adorable googly-eyed edible insects that crawl around, and they all exclaim their name like Pokemon. So there's a little hamburger with googly eyes, and his name is Bunger, and he walks around and goes Bunger, 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 and then he charges it. He charges that and he goes Bunger, because they're like Pokemon.
Because they're the Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cute. There on Snacktooth Island, there is no industry, no economy, no capitalism, no currency or trade of any kind. There is only Bugsnax.
Only Bugsnax and 13 grumpuses.
Mm-hmm. Bugsnax are life. Bugsnax are our love.
So okay. I just want to say, in my brain, this is a two-way race between Andrew and I, because Todd used the word downline, and Andrew and I have both thrown capitalism out the window. So I just want to put that out there.
Todd has volunteered himself into indentured servitude, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, if you know anything about Booster at all, you know that he does not have any businessman's mind. There is no way that he understands finance.
So you are at WeWork.
So Booster is the 7th, I think, Booster to own this tower, and they never really explain how he got the tower. So I assume it is either dark magic or an endless pile of money.
So is Booster a name or a title?
His name is Booster. His official name is Booster the Seventh. So I don't know what that does for your
Booster,
answer.
it's Booster the Booster. He's capital B Booster and little B.
It's like Mario and Luigi Mario. It's
It's like a share situation.
Okay, so we've got Todd in what is probably a cult pyramid scheme for real estate. And then we've got Matt and Andrew in two different idyllic locations. One where you can eat the wildlife that shouts its name as it charges you, and the other that is a post-apocalyptic world, but at least it's less terrifying and soul-crushing than our post-apocalyptic world. And if you were the hero in those worlds, you could make a living doing adventuring, looting, collecting and selling whatever valuable item is in the world. But that is a lot of hard work, and you've got to like go out and like work overnight, sleep outside, get thrown off cliffs and things like that. No one wants that. So instead of going out and adventuring and putting your life at risk to grind out a living, what occupation would you rather have in this new world you want to live in? Are you a shop owner, a jailer, hired goon, advisor? Just how do you make your regular, normal 9-to-5 living in this fantastic world? Todd.
Kyle, before I answer your question, I think it's important for me to tell you why Booster isn't the head of a cult, and I'm also like not. I feel like I shouldn't
exactly
have to
what a
defend
cult
this.
leader would say.
That's exactly what a cult leader would
Let me tell you
say.
a bit about Booster. Booster of Booster's Tower. So like I said, he is the seventh in a long line of boosters, and in Super Mario RPG, he plays the role of this like pseudo antagonist who finds/kidnaps Princess Peach to marry her. You know, that old song and dance. I say finds/kidnaps because he says she falls from the sky. It's a whole thing. A sword falls into a castle. We can talk about it more later. It's a really good enemy. Anyway, you thwart his plans by gallivanting through multiple floors of just shit in his towers. There are train rides, there's bullet bills, there's booby-trapped checkerboards. There's an intimate moment between Bowser and a chain chomp that happens, and you have to watch, but you don't really watch. And then it ends with the chase scene. So, you know, anyway, after you beat Booster...
That is all what I expect from this demonic garden gnome that you posted in our chat.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there. I hadn't really taken... The longer you look at his picture, the more troubling it becomes.
It looks like a garden gnome statue if it had a brain and could succumb to madness. But
For what it's worth,
He also has googly eyes like a Bugsnax.
So that's what I noticed. The longer I looked at it, I noticed the googly eyes. And then I noticed he has what appear to be goggles on his hat, but his goggles don't line up with his eyes. It's more questions than answers on this guy. Anyway, not the point. After you beat him, though, he's super chill. He actually saves you by eating a demonic cake that is trying to kill you. And then later, he gives you just a soft little kiss on the cheek. It's fun.
What?
And I mean, it depends on what ending you get, but yeah,
because that's what I like from my boss is a soft little kiss on the cheek from time to time.
That's how the cult leaders seal the deal.
Okay,
Todd, you have perfectly painted this guy as Keith Raniere, the guy that started the Nexium sex cult.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I mean, not that this helps, but I think it's important to share. When the dust settles, you're even allowed to go gamble at his hidden casino that you can only get into by playing his guessing game and winning 100 times. Not the point. What I'm trying to tell you, Kyle, is that this is working for Booster would be the ideal, I guess, plan for a guy like me who's tired of that 8-to-5 desk grind. And so I will be serving as Booster Tower's executive director of recreational activity. And so this is important because, as I mentioned, currently all the recreational activities are dangerous and you might die. And so this would allow me to funnel my energy into organizing things like bringing toads to be baristas in the cafe, because that's a thing that'll help. I could also organize some Hawaiian shirt Fridays for the sniffets that tend to, all they do is pace back and forth in the tower forever. I can bring in Knife Guy. He can do some cool knife juggling as like a workshop and a team builder. Maybe I'll bring in Jonathan Johnny Jones, the shark that fights you and then becomes your ally, to do like a sushi bar. there's a lot of room for me to use my artistic talents and get away from the desk. Stop looking at the dreadful computer screen and really start organizing some fun things for people.
So I just want to I want to make sure I'm understanding this. In your idyllic, like, choice of video game world and career,
Yes.
you want to plan team builders under the guy who started the sex cult Nexus.
Well, okay, so we're saying sex cult a lot, and I think we should stop saying that. I think
Wait,
what you
is
miss
Death Cult? Is Death Cult better?
It's different.
I'm the executive director, so I just tell them to do it. I'm not actually planning, the team building knife juggling workshop. I'm contacting the guy who will plan.
You're just answering to the shareholders.
Do you think Booster is gonna sign off on you getting rid of his demonic chessboards in exchange for Toad baristas?
There are approximately 500 floors in his tower. You only see like 10 of them, but it pans up very fast and there's a lot of them. I don't think he knows. I don't think he does his daily story. He's like every other CEO. He doesn't really go around the building and look at things. The only time he does is when you're not working. Then he notices that you're not there. But he does, unfortunately, want us to return to the office as soon as possible. He thinks it's important that we are in the office all the time.
So just to clarify real quick,
yeah,
your job as the executive director of recreational activities is to take a task and then pass that task on to people below you so that they can then facilitate that task for people below you. So
below
you're just
them even, yes.
Yeah, so you're just slotting into that multi-level, I don't want to call it a downline, but we'll call it a downline.
Well, first off, that is how executive directors work, and it's usually called middle management. And yeah, so I am, yes, to answer your question, Matt, capitalism is a sham, and I have fit myself snugly in a gear of this machine that pays me plenty of money.
How big is your world's best boss mug?
It is gigantic, and I fill it up each morning at the Toad's barista at the front door.
Okay, Matt. Todd just really bummed me out. What career would you like to have in the idyllic post-apocalyptic world of Hatno Village?
Okay, so I didn't like the way you said Hatno. I've always said Hatano. Hatno is pretty upsetting. But anyway, Kyle,
you keep saying Hatno.
I just want to get out there and explore the idyllic countrysides of Hatano Village. And again, like, there's one major there are two major industries in Hatano Village, and it's Plants That Die Clothes and it's Science Castle, and I'm not really into either of those two things. And so what I want to do is help adventurers move along. I just want to go out there and I want to be a guide. I want to help people get through the woods. I want to help people climb up the mountains. I just want to be a nature guide in Hatano Village. I am checking off the grid, Kyle.
You want to lead new potential heroes through their tutorial level, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that'd be great. Kyle, I am self-inserting myself into an episode harder than I have ever self-inserted before. I'm going to drop off the map, drop off the grid, and I'm just going to hang out with people in the woods. And it's going to be great. And I'm going to have a quaint little thing in Hatano Village, and sometimes I'll collect flowers, and they'll change the color of my pants, and that's great.
We've got three to four
needs.
levels of disassociation going on, and I support it, Matt.
Yeah, so to step back from the bit for a minute, I have played Breath of the Wild. Obviously, I've spent time in Hatano Village, as everyone does, because you got to go to the Science Castle. And I watched a couple of playthroughs of Breath of the Wild today because I was like, what else is there in Hatano Village? And there's nothing. There's like a shop. There's the place where you dye your clothes, and there's the Science Castle, and then there are some people. And then I realized that's really all I want, man. Like, if I can have two places that I know what they do, and then some friends to hang out with, and maybe a little farm, like, we're good. We're so good. So I don't need a full-on job. I'll make some rupees doing some guiding. We'll call it a day.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds
Can't
quiet.
argue it. Not a sex cult. Not a sex cult, not a multi-level
Definitely not a
marketing
sex
scheme.
cult.
I am the only one not pointing at what I'm doing, calling it a sex cult, and I think it's worth noting because I know what's going on more than anyone else.
That's exactly what someone in a sex cult would say, Todd.
I think
Todd, you
we've
haven't said anything that someone in a sex cult wouldn't have said yet.
Listen, just because Booster looks like a guy who would be part of that sort of business, the people that run the reception are delightful humans, and I don't like that you're bundling us all in together.
How many actors from the WB Smallville are in Booster's Tower, Todd?
God.
Is it
Real
more than
talk, did
two?
any of you watch the documentary over Nexium? It's fucking
I
horrifying.
listened to a podcast about it. It's the
Yeah.
same writer.
Yeah, I watched that
It's
documentary.
Terrifying. Yeah.
It's weird that after watching that documentary, you would choose to join such a strange thing, Todd.
It is weird. It's a weird
I have
move.
both watched that documentary and recorded this episode in the same week.
Good.
I'll give you that.
one
Art
may
imitates
inform
life.
the other.
Excellent.
Andrew, what would you like to do as a career or a living on Snacktooth Island?
Well, I've thought about it a lot, and let me kind of set up what my thinking is here. So, what you have to know about Snacktooth Island, at least Bugsnax, the main game, the Grumpuses, the aforementioned Muppets, they come to Bugsnax Island seeking adventure, fame, fortune, and as you get to know each one of them, they all live in Snacksburg, which is the makeshift village that all the explorers have created. You slowly find out more and more about them. More importantly, you learn more about their dreams and desires and the missing gaps in their lives that they're trying to fill with Bugsnax. The Grumpuses eventually learn that Bugsnax are not sufficient replacements for actual relationships, and they won't fix self-doubt or depression or your issues with abandonment. They're just googly-eyed strawberries. They can't love you.
You'll just be sad with googly-eyed strawberries around you now.
Yeah. Listeners may remember I mentioned this again a couple episodes ago, but like each one of the quests in Bugsnax ends on the quest chains ends like a huge downer. And in each one of them basically like coming to the conclusion that each of these characters, like, they thought Bugsnax would make them rich, make them famous, like help them love, like filling gaps like we all do in normal human life, right? Like we all have these like external things that we want to fill our lives with that we think that'll make us whole, and they will not. And just like things in the real world, these googly-eyed strawberries are not going to fix your problems. So I'm going to be the one thing that Snacksburg needs more than anything else. And that's a licensed therapist. Maybe with therapy, for example, Wambus and Tiffany could learn to make compromises in their marriage. Maybe Beffica or Filbo could talk through their emotional trauma and stop trying to validate themselves by how others view them. Maybe Cromdo could work on embracing people he cares about instead of driving everyone away. Because what Snacksburg really needs is mental health.
I am almost certain someone is going to name their real human child Filbo within the next 3 years, and that person will be out in the world. And it's very nice of you, Andrew, that you are going to go serve this community and give that part of yourself to them on your idyllic
I'm
vacation.
Money.
Oh, okay.
No, you said there was no capitalism on Snacktooth Island.
There is no capitalism. There's only trade in the form of Bugsnax.
So you'll therapize for Bugsnax?
Yeah.
Do you specialize in body horror therapy? Is that a thing that you're comfortable doing?
I would like to go to the next prompt, please.
Yeah. if you're gonna try and paint me into a corner, I'm gonna talk about how you turn people's legs turn into celery, and you have to walk them through that.
I can neither confirm nor deny those claims.
But as a licensed therapist, he will
Yeah, that's
have the skills
part
and tools he
of
needs to do that.
accepting change.
No, wait, I'm doing this now. So, one, you have to deal with the fact that they have consumed a bug snack, and part of their limbs become a bug snack.
Excuse me, it's a plural verb, or it's a plural noun.
I know how I said it. Are you also licensed to discuss addiction counseling? Because I feel like they're going to keep doing this, and you got to talk them out of it.
pamphlets.
Wait, I need to back up a little bit because I don't know shit about Bugsnax. When you eat
Matt,
Bugsnax,
here, I
do
got
you
it.
become
Let me tell Matt.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Todd.
so in Bugsnax, you catch Bugsnax and you feed them to your guide or the NPC that you're talking to, and when they consume it, a part of their body becomes that vegetable.
Yeah, or that food.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can make your little Muppets have like French fry arms and strawberry noses, and
You, the player,
Candy
become
cane-
puppet master
candy
for these
cane legs.
NPCs.
oh God.
yeah,
So really, you're going to use your therapy skills to manipulate the town of.
Are you an
the
accredited
island.
therapist, Andrew? Do you have your credentials?
there is not currently a licensure for Muppet therapy, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
We are working on it. Okay, so you've all chosen this new life for yourself. Todd in the weird sex cult. Matt, doing new hero tutorials, and Andrew talking people down after their limbs have turned into vegetables. And that's all tiring work. You need to have a place to rest your head at the end of the day, to unwind, a place to call your own. So tell me what kind of dwelling you have in your new home, and what are some of the creature comforts specific to this realm that you have included in your domicile. I'm almost afraid to ask, but Todd.
It's fine. Okay. I've got to really squash this whole sex cult thing, because Booster is not a guy who looks like he has sex or looks like he has all the sex. It's either one or the other, and I don't think it's the second one.
Once
Anyway,
again,
I don't want to talk about this more.
not a
than we've already
disqualifying, not a disqualifying fact about
Okay,
so head of a sex cult.
So Booster's Tower is massive. Like I said, you only see like 10 floors of it, and it's super, super tall. And so I just have to assume the other floors you don't see are residential. They're housing. And so this isn't not kind of a WeWork situation, kind of. And I think it's important to say that because I want to get out ahead of it. I think we do live where we work. Now, that said, as executive director of recreational activities, my residential loft exists on floors 300 through 305. And so these contain multiple common spaces. There are some reading lofts, probably a theater room. There's a suite deck that you can walk out to. That there's the cloud shuttle that is very important for the end game of Super Mario RPG, that it can come and just take you around the overworld. There's a series of warp pipes that can take you to great places like Yoster's Isle. If you go to Yoster's Isle, you get to hang out with the rad Yoshi that wears sunglasses named Boshi. You also get to hang out with the Chungus Yoshi. Everyone knows the Chungus Yoshi. When you talk to him, he goes, "Burr, burr," and you feed him cookies. There's warp pipes that'll lead you to Great Guys Casino, to Nimbus Land and the Hot Springs, all the famous Mushroom Kingdom places you could want to go. And you're going to ask, how did I get these things? Well, the answer is the corporate credit card, Kyle. And so the second question is, I'm stealing from the company. And how do I get away with that? A severe lack in corporate structure. Go figure that Booster does not have a tight grip on the finances of this company. And so what I end up with is that I work 4 to 6 hours a week in total. I keep people happy in this tower by doing things that go beyond pizza parties, as in coffee carts, as in casual Fridays.
Are you just HR for Booster? What is happening?
HR does not plan the pizza parties. It's the lowest ranking senior officer that plans the pizza parties. That's because HR isn't real in startups.
Well,
and I live in my
HR be real at Booster's Tower either.
Well, there's the HR is actually an angry son. A callback to one of our early episodes. Nice. Yes. And so here it is, Kyle. I get to live in this 5-story mansion with the best view on the Mushroom Kingdom Isle, and no one ever bothers me, and I barely do any work, and it's great. And that's all I've wanted, to not be bothered and also not do work.
Okay. Matt, tell me what about your home.
Well, Kyle, I am living in idyllic Hateno Village where, there's not like stop it. There's not like an abundance of electricity or modern comfort, and that's okay with me. I'm going to live in a cabin. It's going to be a nice, probably like stone-built cabin, because that seems to be the aesthetic of Hateno Village. And the big local draw, what I have from my region, is that I'm going to have a really nice fire outside with a really nice pot over top of it, because everybody's favorite part of Breath of the Wild was cooking, and that's what I'm going to do in my spare time, because guiding new heroes on their tutorial missions only comes around so often, I'm going to have my house stocked with ingredients. It's going to be great. We're going to have all of the best plants from Breath of the Wild. We're going to have blue nightshades. We're going to have hardy radishes. We're going to have swift saflinas. If you're wondering if I'm just reading a list of Breath of the Wild ingredients, the answer would be yes. I did Google it twice. I'm just saying, I'm going to have a very nice little hut, and I'm going to have a very nice place to cook. I'm going to have a very nice spice rack filled with local ingredients that I will use to make snacks that aren't bugs, that don't turn people into vegetables. It's a little weird. I'm still not quite over that. I didn't know that about Bugsnax, and it's bothering me a little bit. But yeah, I'm simple man, simple pleasures. Tuning out.
What are you going to do? How are you going to deter new adventurers from robbing you blind of all your said ingredients?
Yeah. Can we workshop this for a second?
Sure.
If I were to find your hut and I assume you keep everything in pots, and I suddenly just wanted to smash all those pots, how do you keep those pots from getting smashed?
You know, probably not much I can do about the pots. If we're being really honest, probably just let the pots get smashed. But things are plentiful in
They
Hyrule.
respawn if you leave and come back inside.
If you thought Matt's life as a hero guide in the village sounded good, imagine what the guy who makes pots in the village pulls every year. Because
listen, nobody makes more in Hyrule than the pot dealer.
Excellent.
bravo.
My question was going to be also, how do you tell which pots keep your vegetables, which one keeps your rupees, which one keeps your miscellaneous bombs that you replenish, which one keeps your arrows?
Oh, it's the smell for sure. It's for sure the smell. You just pop the lid off and see what comes out.
Well, each different kind of pot has its own smell.
Yeah. Well, and each thing. And
well, I don't know if you know this, Todd, but like gunpowder and bombs smells way different than like a radish would. And key swings probably smell a little different than like rupees. So
I get what you're saying. Anytime I've ever opened a pot in a Zelda game, I don't have time. I'm way too busy. I swing my sword, indiscriminately to open every pot.
Yeah, but they're not your pots. If they were your pots, you'd have more time.
Well,
you got to take time with your pots.
God.
I don't know what this has become.
I'm not sure either. Andrew, tell us about your home on Bugsnax Isle.
Right. Well, so there's, as I mentioned, there really only is one like town per se. So it definitely makes sense to set up my practice inside Snacksburg to make it convenient for everybody. But I'll obviously need to be able to separate my professional life from my personal one. I don't want people like when I'm off hours coming up and asking me about their problems. So I could see building like a nice cabin in the Sugar Pine Woods overlooking the Frosted Peak Mountains in the distance. Maybe I'll wake up with the sun, sit outside with my coffee and a nice sprinkle peed. During the day, I'll hike the trails leading in and out of the mountains, casually grabbing a nutty snack pod on a nearby tree when I get hungry. At night, I'll sit by the campfire and crack into my stash of sweet, sweet charmallows. With me by my side always is my pet Bunger, who I will occasionally eat and replace with another when I so feel like it. Now, I should mention for everybody, just to, put it out there, this is all, of course, before the ancient evil Bugsnax queen who lurks deep below the ground erupts from the ground in a surge of hellfire and stomach acid, and then the parasitic creatures that I've been blissfully devouring take control of my body and cause me and my friends to explode in a massive burst of meat and Muppet fur. So this is all before that.
This is all before that happens. What? So if you eat what is it? A
bunger.
A bunger. What part of you turns into what?
You can actually pick. So the game, you can just like pick like arms and legs.
Okay.
And then as the game goes on, you can change people's like noses and ears. And I think with bunger, it's just like a whole burger.
You just your arm turns into a burger.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Frosted Peaks or Sugar Pine Woods sounds delightful, though.
Yeah. Charmallows. Did you hear charmallows? They're little flying little s'more guys.
I feel like we're not talking about the terrible nightmare eldritch horror that Andrew casually introduced into this scenario.
I don't recall that.
Is there a specific licensure that you have to get?
We
for
all
that?
are vaguely aware. Again, we're all adults here, Todd. We're all vaguely aware that there is some nightmare eldritch horror
Constantly behind you
in
all
every
the time.
world,
Yeah,
constantly threatening
Yeah,
our eventual demise. So I think, you know,
It's the doomsday clock that governs us all.
the name of the game today is how are you making life tolerable until the giant Bugsnax queen devours everything in acid or something, whatever Andrew said.
And causes you to explode from the inside.
That's yes, yeah.
It's not better.
It's different.
It's different.
Outside of the bit, is this how Bugsnax ends?
It sure is, Todd.
Boy, for me, only having seen like maybe an hour, like under an hour of play, like the first 30 minutes of play. If you like sat me down as soon as that minute 30 hit, closed the YouTube video, and was like, "Now, Todd, I'm going to tell you how this game ends," and you said the sentence you
would
said,
not guess that.
I would be like, "Wrong. You're fucking with me."
Okay, so let me. 2 minutes. Give me two minutes. So these are the same people that made Octodad: Deadliest Catch. You remember that game?
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah. So it has a very cynical, kind of like sarcastic tone about it, but it definitely plays very straight for most of the game. But like I said, all of these quests end on a huge downer, and like it's like weirdly emotional, like so much more than you think it should be, right? So you're clued in the entire time that something's gonna happen. Like you're waiting for the flip. Well, the flip is that Bugsnax are parasites and are like basically like living inside the Grumpus's brains. And if you feed your Grumpuses too much Bugsnax, and like because you're having fun changing their arms and legs, they will not survive the big escape at the end of the game.
Oh my god.
Good.
So I was able to save everybody because I wasn't 100%ing and trying to get all the different like arms and leg combinations, but you certainly can. And there are achievements that are based on getting the arms and the legs combinations.
And if you do them in the first playthrough, you don't save anyone.
You can save people, but it's like skill checks at the end of the game.
Okay.
So yeah. But it's interesting. So the reason why everyone's like I said, this whole like mental health side experiment or exploration where it's like, you know, Bugsnax can't fill the hole in your life. Like you need to actually like deal with these problems. The hand wavy thing is like, oh, the Bugsnax are like making or like fucking with your brain, and they're like it's like an addiction. So it like so very much like delves into that world. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a very good game, and it's like 10 hours.
Okay. I was not prepared for all of that, but we are.
Neither was I.
I am prepared for our super secret bonus question, which we will answer after this ad break. But we all know one of the hardest achievements in adulthood to complete is making new friends. So it's a few years down the line. You've lived in your new home for a while. You got the lay of the land. You felt things out. Tell me about the new friend you made in your new NPC world, which we will answer after this break.
We've also got a Ding Dang Patreon where you can get yourself some Ding Dang perks like access to our Ding Dang Discord, regular Ding Dang bonus content, weekly Ding Dang live recordings of our second show, The Ploose is Loose, and even the opportunity to commission your own Ding Dang flavor text. You can join up for as low as $2 Ding Dang, so make sure to tell all your Ding Dang friends.
All right, we're back. So we are going to answer our super secret bonus question, which is, you three have done the impossible and made a new friend as an adult, living in a new place. Tell me about your new friend, Todd.
So when you play Super Mario RPG, one of the things that happens is Booster rides around on his creepy little train, which is, I mean, years later, he's still just, that's how he gets around the office. He has a creepy little train that he totes around little bombs in the back, and he throws the bombs, you know, to increase morale, I assume.
Is Booster actually Elon Musk?
The train that moves around his little compartments goes about as fast as that hidden tunnel that he had put in on his campus. So yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the things that you see is he throws these little bombs at people. Well, anyway, I got him to stop doing that for the most part. And in the end, I ended up becoming close friends with one of those bombs. And this is canonical. The bomb's name is Rob not Bob but Rob And like, I don't have a good joke for this.
Bob dad.
Yeah,
Robert
Robert I don't have a good joke for this. I just really wanted to tell everyone that they're not Bob-ombs, they're Rob-ombs. And that's who I hang out with. And they're pretty chill.
Rob-ombs is like the vegan version of Bob-omb.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they're slightly stronger is what the wiki had told me.
Oh, they're raw. Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
raw bombs.
It's not processed.
Robert Bombs. Robert. My father's name is Robert Bombs.
Okay. Nothing about Rob you want to tell us about, or just
No, Rob's cool as shit. Rob
He has a car.
Rob likes to party.
likes to party but doesn't make weird eye contact at the sex cult meetings. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, there's not sex cult meetings, not that I know of, and I've been on at least a third of these 500 floors.
Okay. Matt, tell us about your new friend.
Yeah, Kyle. So I was hanging out at the bar in Hitano Village because no village doesn't have a bar. So I was hanging out at the bar in Hitano Village, and in walked this child, like an actual 6-year-old child. And I was a little surprised. I was like, hey, somebody's kid is in the bar. We should probably do something about that. And this 6-year-old child walked up to the bartender. And not only did the bartender not be like, hey, 6-year-old child, you can't be in this bar, he gave the 6-year-old child a drink. And I was very confused. And I said, sir, what's the deal with this 6-year-old child to whom you just gave a drink? And he said, that's not a 6-year-old child. That's Pura. She lives in the science castle and she's 120 years old. So,
that old chestnut.
Yeah, right? I know. Every once in a while, you meet a drinking buddy who is actually a 120-year-old ancient scientist in the body of a 6-year-old girl. And let me tell you, Kyle, there are a lot of interesting stories to be shared there. A lot of interesting stories. Also, most of the people in Hitano Village, not big drinkers. 120-year-old woman stuck in the body of a 6-year-old girl. Alcoholism. So I've made a new friend. We drink together a lot. Everything's great. It is a little weird that I pal around with a 6-year-old girl, but everybody else in the village is well aware that she is 120 years old. It took me a little while to get over it, but we're cool now.
They call that the old Fire Emblem conundrum.
Okay, it sounds fun. Sounds like a good time. Good stories, drinking buddy. I like it. Andrew, tell us about your friend, your new friend.
Yeah. So at the end of Bugsnax, your character and Elizabeth Megafig's partner, Eggabell, are searching for Elizabeth. That's like the whole game, right? You don't find her. And you finally come across Elizabeth when the ground swallows the two of you up. And you find that Elizabeth Megafig has fused in the island's core with like the Bugsnax. So Elizabeth is the Bugsnax queen, effectively.
What?
Okay.
So she's like this like giant head on a giant worm made of the different Bugsnax that you've eaten. Just again to really reinforce the message. And then it's like a really cool scene. So like Eggabell is like, or Elizabeth's like, you have to get out of here, Eggabell. And then Eggabell's like, no, like fuck that. Like I'm gonna help you. Like we're gonna get through this together, like we always do. And it's like really sweet. And Eggabell just like fuses together, and the two of them are like form this like 2-headed Bugsnax dragon, and they save the town, and it's really cute. I want to live with them in the Bugsnax chamber in the Undersnax. Which is that's a bad ear
so
feel.
Your friend is the 2-headed chimera Bugsnax queen now.
Yes, exactly.
And you're living with them. So it's
yes.
So it's like more than friends.
We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out we're just buds. And they don't go, I mean, they can't really go very far. So like I'll be their eyes and ears on the island. I just want to like hang in the cool snack chamber with my dragon friend.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds pretty chill, I guess.
Bugsnax is way more depressing.
Yeah.
And I know you've kind of given some of that away before, but I just didn't really. I see why they would need a counselor.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you not also tainted by this monstrosity, like terrible situation that's happened?
Undecided.
How many? If you could just hold up a hand and show digits. How many of your appendages are made of food at this point?
Well, I can't show digits because my entire
they're
arm is a French
French
fry.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. I rescind my question.
Okay. So I guess this all sounds pretty great for you guys, I guess.
More or less.
I didn't say this. I'm looking for somewhere to move, and you guys are really helping me out, like giving me some good ideas. I'm going to listen to you guys' closing statements and based on everything you told me, decide which one of these new locales to move to and join with you guys. So one last time, give me the sell me on where you live, why you're living there, closing thoughts. Todd, kick us off.
Yeah, this is easy, Kyle. So here in Boosters Tower, high salaries, effectively zero supervision, endless cake. I'm basically trying to sell you on the camp from Heavyweights after Ben Stiller was locked up in jail. And even further,
I do like
so
having almost
specific.
zero supervision.
not Tony Perkis, but Ben Stiller when he was locked up. Further, Kyle, we have free beer, there's free coffee, and I didn't mention this, there's free universal health care, which you may not fully believe is a thing here. But you're gonna need that
You
free
have to ban
universal
Booster.
health care. No, you don't have to. You don't have to ever touch Booster unless you want to. If that's what you're into. We don't kink shame in 2021.
If you make it high enough up the ladder, you actually become one of his little boosties.
That's gross.
Oh.
My point here, Kyle. Free beer, free coffee, free universal healthcare, which is important if you happen to get yourself trapped in the booby trap checkerboard that explodes if you step on the wrong squares.
Okay, good to know. I would assume Workman's Comp would cover that, but I guess just if it's
You
universal
don't need
health care,
workers. Yeah, you don't need workers' comp
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
We've solved capitalism here in Boosters Tower somehow.
Matt, give me your pitch. Why should I move to Hateno Village?
Yeah, Kyle, listen, I know you. You have a banana shirt. You love that banana shirt.
I do, and I do. Yeah.
So think about it, Kyle. You're walking down the street one day wearing your banana shirt, and you see a flower, and you're like, man, that's a beautiful flower. I love the color of that flower. Wouldn't it be cool if my banana shirt could be the color of that flower? Kyle, you can do that at Hateno Village. That's like one of 3 things you can do there. No other worries except changing the color of your favorite shirt with a flower. Visit Hateno Village. www.visithateno.com.
Visit
It's like a
Hateno
pure
Village.
Michigan
We'll change the
commercial.
color of your shirts. Okay. All right. Andrew, why should I live in Snackburg?
If I may, a poem. An expedition 13 strong of grumpuses who all set off seeking out a better life. On Snacktooth Island, they did find a tasty quest to fill the hole that many feel inside their soul. Venture deep to reach the truth, and maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something too.
That was.
Did it rhyme at the end?
There was only one rhyme in there.
There's some forced rhymes, but that's fine. I'm into forced rhyme in my poetry. Did you write that, Andrew, or is that an Andrew Henderson original?
If by me you mean Caro Bonito, then yes.
I didn't mean that, but okay.
You
good
didn't
to
mean
know.
that?
My favorite episode of South Park is when they all go to Caro Bonito.
that is taken from the theme song of Bugsnax.
Okay.
The chorus starts with kinda bug and kinda snack. Try to
Jesus.
catch them in your trap.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at all these pamphlets and stuff you guys told me. I'm gonna decide where to move here when my lease is up. So while I'm looking that over, give me some good vibes, good jives,
Good jives.
good
What
jives.
gibes?
Matt, to live in a hippie hut and only spend my free time occasionally dyeing things to different colors of fruits and vegetables that I find, while kind of living off the grid, is the closest thing to like listening to an ASMR YouTube video while falling asleep, is kind of how I equated it. Like, it just seems incredibly relaxing, and I can see myself wanting to do this because I hate staring at my computer for 8 hours a day. I stare at the computer screen to then stare at my phone to get away from the anxiety of both. And I really liked your answer. And every time we talk about Breath of the Wild, it makes me realize I still haven't played that game, and I probably should play that game. Put that in the same category as Chrono Trigger.
You should probably play that game and that game.
Speaking of games I won't play, Andrew,
Is it Bugsnax?
I made a note here as you were talking, and I'm just going to read this. When we get off the call, I'm going to watch the first 15 minutes and then the last 15 minutes of Bugsnax. I'm going to just see if I can find that on YouTube.
You have to specifically look for find the bad ending of Bugsnax.
Ah, that's right, because is that ending E? Does that one become canonical in the end? And it was a
the
joke.
one where you have to delete your save file, and then you have to fight Guitar Hero against Assault Lady.
My note here says watch Bugsnax - bad endings only. So Bugsnax, I knew there was body horror. I did not know there was eldritch horror. So
yep,
it's horror all the way down.
Cool.
Yeah, right on. Todd, I think that you had the best answers to questions 1 and 3 in the sense that you picked the most like built out world, and that was fun. I discovered when I was trying to answer this question that like I don't play a lot of games with settings. Like I just play like dumb platformers and puzzlers and shit, and not things that are like, oh, look at this expansive world that you can play. And I played like 2 of those games. And
wait. You mean that Nerf game that you bought didn't have an expansive world setting that you could get into?
Oh man, we're not. Nope. So yeah, that was really cool and impressive, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Always a cool reminder about how much you know about Mario RPG. A game that I don't think you've played the whole way through in like 20 years. So that's impressive.
We got halfway through in our last live stream.
We
can pick it up
Tower
afterwards. Yeah. Password is butt.
We got to Boosters Tower, and Todd was like, you know what? I want to live here, and he stopped playing the game.
Yeah,
but
that's
he
why I
lives there
stopped
now.
playing the game.
This is my end game. Yeah, and then Andrew, I thought you had the best answer to question 2. The whole I'll be a licensed therapist in this body horror world of existential dread is hilarious. Like that's very good and exactly what the Bugsnax world needs. I will never play Bugsnax. I have been told a lot of things about Bugsnax, and for a 10-hour game, you think by now I would have heard all the things. I've never heard the same thing twice about Bugsnax, and that's
wild.
a little weird. So yeah, good for you for knowing about that game.
Todd, if you're going to pick a place from Super Mario RPG and it is not the land that is literally on clouds, I think Boosters Tower is the best answer. Real talk, that is undoubtedly the best part of the game. 1, 2, I think Boosters Tower is, the more that I think about it, really is an allegory for WeWork. It's just a giant playground where there's like trains and explosives.
No one's actually in charge.
And everyone insists business is happening.
And everyone just insists that business is happening. And if you question it, if you question the leader, you will get your head sliced off.
They terminate your contract, and you don't get to WeWork anymore.
I don't know that there's a closer allegory to WeWork.
There is a lobby. There is a secretary. There's certainly a front for business.
Yeah, like something happens there, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was very good.
Pre-COVID, the big story that was gonna break was like how WeWork is this weird pyramid scheme, like real estate
watch
pyramid
the documentary
scheme.
If you haven't on Hulu.
And then COVID happened and WeWork imploded anyway because like no one was renting new office space.
There's
from
one
them.
on Hulu. There's one on HBO too.
Oh, the one on I don't know which one we watched, but whatever it was basically like the guy was just making up figures of how much they're worth, and nothing was real, and then there was a panic.
Yeah, and then they IPO'd and then just imploded.
It's the exemplary example of like how venture capitalism is just letting anyone with that can sell an idea do whatever the hell they want in the 2020s, and it's terrifying.
Matt, Hitano Village was such a good answer.
Hey, thanks, man.
You know, it's so funny. I think like for all the reasons that your answer was good are the same reasons why I think Breath of the Wild gets like a lot of criticism, because it's supposed to be a post-apocalyptic world, but those villages are so idyllic, so happy. Like, find me one unhappy person in Breath of the Wild, despite the fact that the world ended it 100 years ago.
Right.
and never recovered.
Yeah, because again, like their primary metropolitan area is just a smoldering mass of rubble, and there are still like murder death machines all over the fucking world. And there's a magical mystical ninja death clan that loves bananas that's just out there. And there's the giant smoke monster in the air at all times, and still people are like, lovely weather today.
Yeah.
Todd, you really should play this game.
I heard it's good.
Game.
I love the idea that like something that could sell you is just changing the color of your pants.
Yeah, man. What else could you want?
Yeah.
Pants with plants.
All right. So I've done it. I've decided where I'm moving, and I'm gonna start there. I'm moving right next door to Matt in Hatno Village. I'm gonna change the color of all my clothes multiple times, just
So
every
you are
day.
pants.
I'm gonna collect my plants and take my pants up there and be like, I want them burnt orange today. Burnt orange pants for me, thank you. So Matt, congratulations, you are our winner.
Thanks.
Todd and Andrew, stick around and I'll tell you why you didn't win today. Todd,
I actually don't need the answers. I think.
feel like I know.
Todd, you just like you pitched me a place where I can live at work, and work is just what is already happening here that I'm trying to move away from, except it's a cartoon villain insanity work. That stresses me out just saying it out loud. I worked in Easton Mall for 3 years, and I don't need to go any higher levels of insanity than that. So no, thank you.
Can I real quick add? If you do find time to go through the heavyweights Tony Perkis Jr. quotes and pretend that they're being read by Booster, it's kind of concerning how well they go together.
We'll let you do that in your best Booster impression to ride us out after the episode.
I don't know what Booster's
Todd.
voice sounds like, but it's terrible.
Exactly.
Sounds like Warriors, probably.
And Andrew, I'm moving away to this NPC world to escape my problems and not need therapy. And it sounds like if I move to Bugsnax Island, Snacktooth Island, thank you. I will need more therapy. I'm not about body horror and brain parasites disguised as adorable googly-eyed hamburgers. I'm sorry.
It's a acquired taste.
I want to light the torches to Science Castle and change the color of my pants on a whim. And that's why, Matt, you are our winner today. Congratulations.
Thanks. This is the happiest I've ever been in my hut with my plants and my pants and my tutorials.
You've already forgotten what things like feet pics and Venmo is. So good job.
Haven't thought about the internet in years, Kyle.
The duality of man.
Duality of man.
Feet pics and Venmo.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. Hey, do you like Marvel? Have you heard Disney and Marvel are doing a thing where they release short form TV series weekly until the end of time, and we all leave society to go to an idyllic village where you can change the color of your pants on a whim? Well, they're doing that, and if you enjoy those shows, you should consider checking out our sister show, The Plus is Loose, a weekly recap of the latest MCU show being featured on Disney+. Coming up next, Andrew will be leading us through all of the mind-bending, time-hopping, Owen Wilson wow's goodness starting June 10th, just one day after Loki comes to Disney+.
I can't fucking wait. It's going to be so good.
Like I said, until the heat death of the universe, Disney is just going to be pumping into our eyes what we want. And we're going to recap it for you and tell you everything that you missed in that episode. So please join us on June 10th for the start of The Plus is Loose, Loki. Until next time, I'm Kyle Harper.
I'm Todd. Being an only child educated entirely by private tutors my whole life, I'm looking forward to interacting with children for the first time. Who said that? Was it Booster? Was it Ben Stiller's character? Was it Adam Newman of WeWork? Thomas.
I'm Matt. Hey, remember this bit? This nickname bit? This middle name bit? We didn't do it at the top of the show. If you noticed, you've got to leave us a review. Cole.
And I'm Andrew Booster. I hardly know her, Henderson.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.
I totally missed that we missed that.
I totally
didn't even-
did too.
Oh,
Good
boy.
catch, Matt.
Yeah.